One man finds a way to survive a zombie outbreak alone in his apartment. But is he the only one throughout the entire vicinity? A lady might be even better at it than he is. A man sleeps in his room and wakes up to his alarm clock. He then washes up and grabs some water to drink from the fridge. He is Junwoo. In the living room, he reads a note from his mother. Then he gets on his computer and joins an online game. His friends greet him there, and one of them tells him to turn on the television. Junwoo goes and does that, and then gets an alarm on his phone. On the TV, the reporter says that people have become violent and attacks are taking place. Then Junwoo hears screams outside and goes to the window to check. Looking through, he sees chaos dominate the world outside his unit. People run out of a building, and some are seen attacking others. A fire truck then crashes nearby and startles Junwoo. An explosion follows that and startles him even more. Then he observes a girl and her mother coming together to hug. While they do, the young girl undergoes some sort of shift and starts biting her mother. She gets her on the ground and it appears as though she ended her. Afterward, Junwoo hears screaming outside his front door. He looks through the peephole, but no one is there. Then he opens the door to check and instantly a man comes running into his unit. He tells Junwoo that he met him before, but Junwoo's reaction is that he does not care and just wants him out. He tries to throw him out, but the man resists, and they speak some more. The man tries to speak about what happened to his brother, but his emotions prevent him from finishing. After that, Junwoo tries opening the door to check what is going on, but the man stops him. He then asks to use the washroom and Junwoo lets him. While they're alone, Junwoo watches some more TV. It informs him some more about the situation. A reporter states that people are becoming flesh-eating and acquiring red eyes. Upon hearing that, Junwoo searches for a weapon in a drawer. When the man comes out of the washroom, Junwoo holds a knife toward him. The man pleads not to attack him or to throw him out, but Junwoo insists and aggressively tells him to leave. Then he asks the man what happened to his hand, and after that, he notices his eyes going red. The man twitches and shakes before Junwoo, terrifying him. Then his transformation becomes complete, and he attacks Junwoo as a zombie. However, Junwoo manages to get him out the door. He looks through the peephole again and witnesses a zombie attack. After that, the opening credits come on, and while they get displayed, abnormalities in human biology appear on the screen. The next scene has Junwoo covering his front door with a refrigerator. Then he calls someone on the phone, but it does not go through. He gets a text from his parents, telling him that they are coming to him soon. They also urge him to do whatever it says on television. Junwoo then writes a note that says he must survive and places it on a family photo. Afterward, he lies on the couch and falls asleep. When he wakes up, he hears more information about the epidemic on television. On his phone, he watches how a man records himself while hanging on from the edge of a building. Then he falls. Junwoo becomes disturbed by that and stops watching. Then he watches the TV. On it, he sees footage that someone sent of zombies attacking a house. After that, Junwoo gets the idea to tape his phone to a drone and let it fly outside. He puts on some eye gear to let him see what his phone record. What he observes are the living places of other people through their window. Then his battery starts getting low and his father calls him, but he does not answer it. We then see him sitting in his room, playing a shooter game. Unfortunately for him, it goes offline, and he gets angry and goes to sleep. He wakes up to an alarm outside. He goes to the window and someone shoots in his direction. Junwoo crouches reflexively. He then cautiously looks out the window and notices a policewoman shooting at zombies. Then she runs out of ammo. The zombies run at her, but she reloads in time to shoot one of them. The other one, however, gets her on the ground. She manages to knock him off, but he does it again. 3 of them then get her and start dragging her somewhere. Junwoo watches this scene for a while and then distracts them by shouting. Quickly after, he hears banging on his front door. This prompts him to pick up a golf club. The refrigerator door opens after more banging. Then Junwoo sees a zombie standing there. He tries to come after him, but Junwoo holds the refrigerator with his back. Then he runs to the balcony and stands over the ledge. The zombie knocks over the refrigerator and chases after the man. Junwoo then goes down, and the zombie falls over. We then see Junwoo hanging onto the metal bars. He looks at the zombie on the ground and then notices that the policewoman has become a zombie. The next scene has him doing some work on his door to make it sturdier. Then he looks at the food on the floor, and while he does, he hears screaming outside. Afterward, he starts recording himself on his laptop. He states that he has been stuck in his home for 2 full days. Then he says that the last text message he got from his father is him telling Junwoo that he must survive. But then he says that he doesn't know how he is going to do that. He finishes his recording by saying farewell to his viewers and reminding them to subscribe. On the next day, Junwoo wakes up and pours himself some alcohol. Then we see him covering the balcony window with some colorful paper. He sits down to watch the TV, and it tells him that the zombies repeat some behaviors they used to engage in. Then he sees a commercial of a man eating with a great appetite. This causes Junwoo to want to eat very much, and so he does. He eats his bowl of ramen that he has labeled as his last supper. After that, he tries to use the water, but it works in neither the kitchen nor the washroom. This makes him collapse on the living room table from not knowing what to do. Day 10 has arrived. Junwoo sits at his computer. He reports to his subscribers that he almost ran out of food and water. Then he states that he's never leaving the house because he would rather starve to death than get bitten by a zombie. He looks out of his balcony and spots a gun lying on the ground. When he lies on the couch, he speaks about some of the things his mother used to do. Then day 15 comes about. Junwoo drinks and dances as if he's trying to forget the frightful situation. While he lets loose, he gets an image of his parents coming into his unit. His mother asks him if he has eaten and he hugs her. But then he goes back to the grim reality. No one is there with him, and he then finds himself unable to deal with the situation. He starts crying and falls to the floor. While down, Junwoo gets a voice message on his phone. It's from his mother, but the reception is bad. He then connects his phone to a selfie stick and stands dangerously from the ledge of his balcony to collect better reception. As he stands there and listens, he hears how zombies got a hold of his parents. Junwoo finds that it is very likely that they are no longer living. He goes back into his apartment and smashes many items in there out of anger and sadness. He also breaks and steps on his TV. Afterward, Junwoo opens the front door and fearlessly destroys a zombie that's there with his golf club. Then he approaches another zombie that's lying. And still, he exhibits no fear as he yells at him. The zombie crawls toward him and Junwoo sees a lady transforming into a zombie on the other side of the hallway. They all come at him. Then the fear returns to Junwoo and he starts running. In the area where he runs, a lot of zombies present themselves there. So he runs in another direction and then hides. He sees how the zombies walk past him then. After that, Junwoo attempts to sneak behind them and then hides in an indentation from a blind zombie. After the zombie passes, Junwoo sneaks back into his apartment. Through the peephole, he sees that they are gathered near his door and trying to get in. But he holds the door from them. When day 20 comes, Junwoo looks through his blinds and observes some explosions happening far away. He turns on his computer and records himself where he only greets and says farewell to his audience. Then he steps on a chair and attempts. A laser points at him. This causes him to cancel his attempt and try to get free. When he does, the laser continues to point in different areas in his unit. Junwoo then sees the laser point to the word don't, and then it points to other words. In total, he reads that the words amount to don't be a moron. After that, he goes to see where the laser is coming from and observes a lady standing on a balcony from the opposite side of him. She spies on him with binoculars, and then they wave to each other. She points to her watch and then holds 7 fingers up. What she is telling him is 7 o'clock. Junwoo takes that to mean that he should meet her there again at that time. Then they both close their balcony. In the next scene, we see the girl sitting in her apartment. She is knitting a handle cover for her axe. Then she hears a sound near her front door. She grabs a rope that connects to a chair she has set up to hang from the ceiling as a trap. And then when no one enters, she connects the rope back to a heavier chair. Afterward, she takes a bottle and drinks some water. On the bottle, she has written how many days the water will last her. The girl then uses some of it to water her plant before she sleeps. The scene changes to Junwoo waking up in the morning and going to the balcony. He sees the lady standing there and looking through her binoculars. They then see each other and she points to her watch. Junwoo tells her that he's sorry for missing the meeting. After that, he writes his name on his phone and lets her see it. She follows that by showing him her name, which is Kim Yoo-bin. He repeats her name to himself several times. And then Yoo-bin questions to herself if he could be that stupid. What comes next is that she hears a noise in her unit. Junwoo gestures to her that she should not go there. But what she does is point to her watch again and states 7 o'clock. Then she leaves the balcony and walks into her apartment with an axe in hand. She notices a zombie there being stuck to her trap chair. And then she comes near him and gives him steel. On another day, rain falls. Junwoo collects the water by putting cups and jars on his balcony. Yoo-bin does the same thing, but she adds her plant too. After that, Junwoo sits and looks at the time. It is almost 7 o'clock. Yoo-bin opens her balcony and they see each other. As he tries getting up, Junwoo notices he has become very hungry. Yoo-bin tries throwing a baseball with a rope attached to it at Junwoo's balcony, but she lacks the strength to get it across, so it falls on the ground. Junwoo then attempts to remedy the situation by sending a rope across to her with his drone. She takes the rope and attaches it to the rail. Afterward, Yoo-bin sends him a lunchbox using their new method of transporting goods. He opens it and instantly begins eating a bar. Then he finds a note there telling him to eat slowly. He tries doing what his new friend says. Junwoo then sees something happening on the ground. He points at it to Yoo-bin, and she observes a zombie there tugging at the rope with the baseball attached to it. As he pulls it harder, the table in Yoo-bin's apartment starts quickly moving in the direction of her balcony. Before it gets there, its movement hits and injures the girl, causing her to fall and pass out. And with the table settled against the balcony, the zombie then starts climbing the rope. Junwoo, in a panic about what needs to be done, starts throwing bottles at the climbing zombie. But it does not work too well, so then he uses his drone to distract him. The zombie, however, takes the drone and then he reaches the rail. But Yoo-bin appears there to sever the zombie's hand, causing him to fall. After that troublesome occurrence, she looks at her injury in the mirror. Then she uses her binoculars to check on Junwoo and he shows her a message that she should stay strong. Later on, Junwoo gets prepared to leave his unit. When he leaves, we see him searching for whatever he can find in the gruesome hallway. He then finds some keys on a dead zombie. He uses them to enter the apartment that they are connected to. While he's in there, he notices the mess there and a leg of a lying person. He throws a shoe at it to check if it's safe to proceed. After safety has been confirmed, Junwoo heads for the refrigerator and opens it for food. He finds some and puts them in his bag. Then he enters the room with the lying person. He finds some earphones there and then a coat. When he uncovers the blanket on the person, it is revealed to be a dead girl. Right after that, a zombie enters the room and Junwoo falls into bed with him. He uses the girl to protect himself from being bitten. Then he manages to escape from the zombie and from that unit altogether. He then quickly secures himself in his. In the next scene, he eats some pudding and drinks some beer that he picked up. Then he cuts the earphones so he could just use the plug. Later, he places 3 items in the lunchbox that he found during his raid: a radio, a beer, and a Nutella. Then he sends the gift to Yu-bin. Some time has to pass until she uncovers it and radios Junwoo. When she does, they finally start speaking. She thanks him for the Nutella, and after they speak about it, she thanks him again for the food. But he tells her that it is he who should be thanking her for saving his life. In response, Yu-bin tells him that she did not save him, he saved himself because he wanted to live. But he says to her that she still saved him. Afterward, she asks him to speak about something else. At some other time, we see them both cooking noodles while speaking to each other on their radios. After the cooking, they speak some more while lying down. As they talk, Junwoo hears the rain and tells Yu-bin to grab a bowl to collect water. But when he checks outside, there is no rain. What it is zombies moving around quickly and in large numbers. Yu-bin then accidentally knocks over her shelf, and Junwoo asks her if she is okay. But she tells her friend that the zombies are gathering near her apartment and she looks very scared. Junwoo then asks her what her unit number is. After that, the apartment near hers gets a call. The call arouses the zombies to its location. Yu-bin watches from her unit as they run to it. We then see that it is Junwoo that made the call to distract them. After that, both Junwoo and Yu-bin get prepared to venture out. They talk about going to the 8th floor. Yu-bin gives her plant its final watering, and then asks Junwoo if they can survive this. He tells her that he isn't sure, but he also says that he doesn't want to die by them. He further says that they will survive this together. Then the big moment arrives when Yu-bin descends to ground level by rope. She then runs and hacks away at the zombies in her path, and Junwoo gets impressed with her magnificent survival skills. But then she gets knocked down. Quickly after that, though, she gets back up and collects the gun that was there. Another zombie then brings her down, but this time he gets struck by Junwoo, who appears on the scene. They fight the zombies and escape together, and then they have a moment to collect themselves as they ride in an elevator. After they cautiously walk out, they see a zombie standing in the distance. Then more appear behind him and they all start moving towards Junwoo and Yu-bin. Junwoo brings down a metal rail to slow them down. As Yu-bin tries opening a door, Junwoo beats the zombies with his golf club. Then someone opens the door and pulls Yu-bin inside. After that, a man comes out and helps Junwoo by tossing a smoke bomb near the zombie. Junwoo then gets up and runs with him, and then they both enter the man's apartment. Yu-bin stands there pointing her axe at the man that saved them. He tells her to put it away, and she asks him who he is and why he helped them. But he states that she's the one who asked for help. After that, they all sit at his table. The man tells them he thought he was the only survivor in this building. Junwoo tells him that he thought the same about himself and Yu-bin. They then speak some more, and then Junwoo and Yu-bin drink and eat. Afterward, the man tells them that he has enough food until the rescue team arrives. This amazes the duo and they ask him about it, and he tells them that it was on the news. Yu-bin then asks him how he stayed hidden so long. He responds that hiding is easy for him. After the man gets asked about his family, Junwoo passes out, and then Yu-bin starts heading there as well. The man comes to Junwoo and zip ties his hands together. Then he starts dragging Yu-bin away to another room. He places her there and locks the door. Yu-bin notices there is a tied zombie in the room he brought her into. We see the man controlling how far she can go by holding onto the rope that bounds her. Then he lets go of it and the lady zombie gets on top of Yu-bin, standing close to the door to hear what goes on in there. The man states that she is his wife and that she is starving. And then Junwoo stands behind the psychotic man with a gun pointing at him. He yells out to his friend Yu-bin if she is in there. The man then tells him that he just wanted to save his wife. Eventually, he tosses the rope and Junwoo latches onto it. The man takes a knife and tells Junwoo to leave Yu-bin here. If he does that, then he will spare his life and even give him all of his food. After declining that offer, Junwoo lets go of the rope and attempts to break down the door. But the man tosses Junwoo to the floor and stands near the door himself. Nothing but silence comes from the room, so he is prompted to open the door and search inside. And then he sees his wife being held by Yu-bin from behind. His wife has some cloth over her head. Yu-bin then directs the zombie wife at her husband and they both fall to the floor. The cloth over her head gets removed from her and she starts biting her husband. Yu-bin picks up the gun. As she bites him, however, he tells her that it is okay. He says that he loves her. He repeats this several times. Perhaps due to that, Yu-bin hesitates to shoot them, but she then does. We see that the zombies outside all heard the gunfire. Yu-bin knows what is coming for them, so she gives the gun to Junwoo. He knows what she wants him to do, but he can't do it. Yu-bin starts crying and Junwoo starts pointing the gun at her. He has a hard time going through with the gruesome action, and then he discovers that he doesn't have to because they hear a helicopter outside. They look out the window and see more than one. Then both of them quickly decide to go to the roof so they can be rescued. They cut their zip ties and leave the unit. As soon as they open the door, Junwoo throws some smoke bombs at the zombies outside and starts attacking them with his golf club. Yu-bin then moves through zombies using a cart. When they go through the stairs, Yu-bin gets caught by zombies. But Junwoo thinks quickly and uses a bicycle that stands there to fend them off. While he holds them with it, Yubin escapes and continues up the stairs. She gets to the roof first and then her friend follows. When he gets there and closes the door behind him, he barricades it with some ladders. Unfortunately, however, when they stand there on the roof, they perceive that the helicopters are gone. Junwoo yells out with emotions that there are survivors in this place. While yelling, the zombies break through the door and run towards the duo with ferocity. Junwoo and Yubin run to the edge of the building and Junwoo shoots at the zombies with the few bullets that he has left. As the zombies come closer, and the two believe that they are going to die, a helicopter rises behind them. The personnel there shoot at the zombie horde and it becomes increasingly more difficult for the monsters to catch up to Junwoo and Yubin. Then the two of them get help to step inside the helicopter. After collecting the survivors, it flies away. Junwoo and Yubin sit relieved in their rescuing vehicle. They then both look at each other and laugh. A reporter states on one of the radios that about 50,000 people are infected across the country, and that rescue squads are focusing on saving the survivors. The reporter goes on to say that the SOS messages on social media have been effective, and then we see the message that Junwoo sent out where he stated that he must survive.